Hi guys, Steve from Vintage Classics. I got another episode for you this week. I'm going to show a couple, two or three cards I picked up in the last couple of days. Nothing really major, just a couple ones that I liked. And then I'm going to do Kellogg's baseball cards today. I have the whole 82 Kellogg set. I'm just going to show some of the Hall of Famers in it, and I've got some other 69, 70, 72, something like that. Then I'll show some of those as well. Hope everybody had a good week. I don't really want to rant about my Patriots too much, but a lot of people up here are calling for Bill Belichick's job and stuff, and I don't think that's necessarily right. I think that I would at least let him finish the season out, and I mean he's one of the greatest coaches of all time. It's just that we're not getting a good quarterback play from Mac Jones at all. I was a big Mac Jones fan. In fact, I almost wore his shirt today. His blue jersey that I have, but I like not to do that. I just think the offense has a lot of issues. The defense is all banged up. So, but then again, we're only 6 weeks into the season, so you can't give up yet. But I think we're headed for a last place finish in the AFC East, which that'll be a first. It'll be a long time since. Well, I shouldn't say a first. It'll be first in a long time that we finish that far down in the standings. But hey, every good thing has to come to an end. So. All right, enough about my Patriots. Let's get on to some better things to talk about. I picked up this 1977 Carlton Fisk. I already had it, but this is a better quality of it. Better, it's centered better. I just love the action photo. He's getting ready to tag out Willie Randolph at the plate, as you can see. There he is, a little bit better. All right, that's one. I got picked up a 1958 Frank Malzone. Good Red Sox third baseman. Just like the pose on this card. I like the 58s, the way that they're designed and everything is the back of it. And Malzone was a good ball player for the Red Sox. This one is a 73 Chris Hanberger from the Washington Redskins, linebacker. I just like the action photo they show on there. Well, that and the Redskins no longer exist anymore. But you can see him in the huddle talking to his fellow defensive players. Hopefully you can see that okay. 73 was a good set. That's, as you guys know, I started in 1970. So it's been over 50 years I've been collecting. But I do remember 73 has a soft spot in my heart because I can remember as a kid, you buy the cards and sort them. My dad would be in the room with me reading the newspaper or whatever, and I'd, hey, Dad, look at this one, look at that one. Oh yeah, hang on, that's going to be a good card. My dad has since passed away, so that set brings back a lot of memories. My dad and I'd show him cards, and he always told me, hang on to them. You never know, they're going to be worth something someday. Little did he know that I hung on to everything. But like I said, that sets means something to me. So, all right, let's start with some the Kellogg's cards. I'm going to start off with a 1970 John Blue Moon Odom from the A's. The thing about these cards is it's you got to be careful when you're buying them because it's difficult to a lot of times to tell unless you look close. But they crack easily, as you guys know, because of the 3D, the plastic coating that they put over it. I don't believe I have any that are cracked, but they are notorious for that. But all right, that's John Blue Moon Odom. All right, also from that same 1970 set, you got a local ball player, Rico Petrocelli. Well, this is the way the backs look on those. Ate a lot of cereal in those days just to get these cards. My mom was here; she'd tell you that. This is a 1972, and it's a Joe Coleman of the Detroit Tigers. It's funny if you don't know the cards that well. Some of them, the years of Kellogg's, are very similar. Like the 82 ones I'm going to show you. The blues the same. It's very similar. There's some stars, a little bit of differences. But if you didn't know any better, I mean, I guess you could easily mix them up. But anybody who collects cards always knows if you look on the back side of the card and you look at the year, the last year of the stats, and you add one, that's the year it is. 99.9% of the time, anyways. All right, here's another one from 1972. It's Jim Catfish Hunter, Hall of Fame pitcher from the Oakland Athletics, and also the New York Yankees later in his career. I used to love the Oakland A's when I was a kid. I mean, I've always been a Red Sox fan, but I love the Oakland A's also. And in the National League, my team was the Pirates. So here's a 1972 card of Reggie Smith. I almost said Tommy Harper. Reggie Smith was a really good ball player in Boston, part of the '67 Red Sox Impossible Dream Team. That particular year, he had 15 homers and 61 RBIs for the '67 Red Sox. Later went on to play for a number of teams, but solid hitter, really good player. All right, here we have some 1973s. This is Mickey Lolich from the Detroit Tigers. Mickey was a good pitcher. I want to say he won either right at 200 or just over 200 games in his career. Get some solid. In fact, I probably have that right here. I was going to do an episode on guys that I thought should be in the Hall of Fame, but I think I'm going to save that for another time. Yeah, Mickey Lolich won 217 games in his career, so that's an impressive number. You'll be hard pressed for today's pitchers to see anybody win 200 games. They don't stay around long enough in the game to half the time to get a win. You know, I don't want to go on any rants or anything, get off the subject, but that's the thing that bothers me too, is that pitchers nowadays, and for quite a while now, have been spoiled. Let them go. Let them throw past 100 pitches. You know what I mean? Build up arm strength and stuff. I mean, I know that it's driven by money and by the agents and stuff and keeping the player healthier longer to make more money long term. But guys used to pitch, I mean, we're not going to go back over everything, but years and years ago, they would pitch the whole game like it was nothing, no problem. In fact, they'd be upset if they didn't make it to the end of the game. And then if you want to go really far back, some of those guys, Cy Young in that era, they'd throw both games of a doubleheader like it was nothing. So today, pitcher gets near 100 pitches, hits that 5-inning mark, 6-inning mark, 6 to get a quality start, and they're out of the game. So I don't know. I don't want to go on too much about that, but so guys like with 200 plus wins, they're going to be hard to find going forward. All right, here's another 73 of Hall of Famer Tony Oliva. I'm glad Tony finally got in the Hall of Fame a couple years ago. Solid hitter for the Twins. All right, a 73, Burt Blyleven, another Hall of Famer. I like the 73 Kellogg's cards. Now you're probably thinking I said the same thing about the 73 Topps football. Maybe it was that era, that time frame. I was, 10 years old then? All right, here we have a 1974 Ted Simmons, Hall of Famer from the Cardinals, catcher, along with a couple other teams, but mainly the Cardinals. So, all right, then we have a 1976 Bill Spaceman Lee from the local team here, the Boston Red Sox. Also pitched for the Montreal Expos. All right, another Red Sox from that set. You got Freddie Lynn, part of the Gold Dust Twins. It was him and Jim Rice. I still tell all my buddies, the ones that are Red Sox haters, had Jim Rice not been hurt in the '75 World Series and had all those rain delays not happened, I seriously think we would have beat the Reds. Not that the Reds weren't a great team, they were. Those two teams were pretty evenly matched, but I think a little bit more, had fate been more on our side a little bit more, which you have no control over that, but a healthy Jim Rice in that lineup would have made a big difference instead of being out the way he was. But all right, next up, we're going to go with a 19... Let's see what year we got. I can't even see it. I got glasses on. I still can't read it. 1979. You got John Henry Johnson, pitcher from the Oakland Athletics. All right. And then we have same set. We have Jim Rice from the Boston Red Sox. The other half of that Gold Dust Twins I told you with Fred Lynn. Jim's still involved in the game. If you lived up in this area, you have Nesson, which is our network that televises the Red Sox and the Bruins and everything. He's one of the post-game commentators, sometimes pre-game commentators for the Nesson with the Red Sox. So you get to see him a lot. Also from that set, you got Pete Rose. Not in the Hall of Fame, but I feel he should be. But that's for another episode. Like I said, I had a little something planned where I probably won't show too many cards on it, but I'm going to go over some some hitters and some pitchers who I think most deservingly should be in the Hall of Fame. That's probably the next few weeks I'll do that, though. All right, here's Fred Lynn from that same year. Boy, did I like Fred Lynn and Jim Rice when I was a kid. I think this is a guy, had he stayed in Fenway, like Nomar, um, I'm not saying for sure if he would have been a Hall of Famer, but he would have been in consideration. I think the ballpark suited him well. Also, from that year, you have Dwight Evans. My dad used to love Dwight Evans. Great, great right fielder. As you guys all know, right field is not an easy position to play at Fenway Park because of the angles and the way it all of a sudden drops off back towards the bullpens and where the fans sit by Pesky's pole. He played it marvelous, right fielder, and he had a cannon for an arm. Really enjoyed him as a kid when I used to watch all the games. All right, next up we have a 1980 Jimmy Rice from the Red Sox. And from that same set, we have Ferguson Jenkins, who on his card is shown pitching for Texas. Most notably, he was a Chicago Cub. But he even pitched here in Boston for the Red Sox at the very end. But he's, a Hall of Famer, and he's known as a Cub. All right, here's another great Hall of Famer. This one is from the 1981 set. It's Nolan Ryan, wearing those colorful Houston Astro uniforms at the time. Guy was 7 no-hitters, career no-hitters. You're never going to see anybody do that either. I guess I should never say never, but I firmly believe we're never going to see a pitcher throw 7 no-hitters in his career. 7 or more, anyways. All right, from that same set, Jim Rice. You probably see a common theme here, a lot of Red Sox. But I every now and then I'll pick up some of these either through eBay. I buy a lot of cards off of eBay, or there's different flea markets in the local areas that I've forced my wife to go to. I drag her in there. And to her, it's all junk, everything in there, or most of it's junk. But I mainly go there for the cards and stuff, sports memorabilia. All right, next is a great Pirates outfielder, Dave Parker, the Cobra. I had a chance to meet him last year with my friend, got his autograph. I sure hope this guy goes in the Hall of Fame soon. His condition is deteriorating. He's not in the best of health. The poor guy, I wish he could live to see himself inducted into Cooperstown, because I think he definitely deserves it. He's on that list too. The upcoming episode we're going to talk about guys who should be, in my opinion, anyways, in the Baseball Hall of Fame. All right, next up, we got another Fred Lynn. Did that surprise you? All right, let's move over here. I just pulled out of the 82 Kellogg's ones, just some of the Hall of Famers that are in there. I mean, I had the whole set. I didn't want to go through the whole thing with you. So I picked out the ones the big stars in there. First, you got Eddie Murray, the Baltimore Orioles. All right. This guy's not in the Hall of Fame, but I feel he should be. Pete Rose, like I mentioned earlier. Here he is. On this one, he's depicted with the Phillies. Also played for Montreal. All right. And then you got Rock Raines, Tim Raines. Along with Ricky Henderson, Vince Coleman, Lou Brock, all those guys, great base steals. In fact, if you bought the most recent Beckett Vintage Baseball magazine, I have it upstairs. I should have brought it down. There's a whole article on base stealing and cards depicting guys stealing bases. Louis Aparicio, all those type of guys. It's a good. That's a great magazine, especially if you collect vintage. I know I've shown it before. I have a couple of previous ones over the side here, but it's Beckett's Vintage Baseball. It comes out maybe 6 times a year, every 2 months. Usually packed with a lot of good stories about vintage cards, along with the vintage card prices, which go up till 1979 in there. It's my favorite one. The other Beckett magazines, I mean, years ago, yes, they were the Bible, but everybody goes by eBay's comps that's sold comparisons and stuff like that for pricing nowadays. But the vintage one is it's just a good magazine. That's all. I mean, if you get a chance, you pick up a copy and you're a vintage collector or lover, you definitely will not be disappointed. All right, next up we got Rodney Carew, Rod Carew. And this one, he's with the Angels here. Great pure hitter. Um, Another Hall of Famer. Yeah, it's Captain Carl Yastrzemski. He has had the unfortunate distinction of following Ted Williams in Boston in left field, and that no matter who came along after Ted, that was going to be a tough road to hoe. All right, next up you got Jim Palmer from the Baltimore Orioles. Really outstanding pitcher, Hall of Famer. Everybody I'm showing you in these, with the exception of the 82s, with the exception of Pete Rose, is in the Hall of Fame. So if I forget to say Hall of Famer, they're all Hall of Fame players. All right, next up is Phil Niekro, knuckleball pitcher. You mentioned knuckleballs, and in the past 10 days, we've lost a great gentleman, first of all, but great Red Sox pitcher and knuckleball pitcher, Tim Wakefield, passed away. Really nice guy. I had the opportunity to meet him twice at the Red Sox winter weekend, and very, very humble person. And I got his autograph and a few things, but very nice guy. It's a shame that he had to pass away so young. But that was Tim Wakefield. So next up is Rich the Goose Gossage. Came up with the White Sox. He's depicted here with the Yankees, but he also pitched for a couple other teams, Padres and stuff like that. All right. Next, you got the Reds' great catcher, Johnny Bench. Greatest catcher I've ever seen play. I mean, I didn't see Yogi Berra and all that stuff, but I would have to put Johnny Bench as number one. Even though I love Carlton Fisk and as a diehard Red Sox fan, Johnny Bench was the best. All right, next up from the Milwaukee Brewers, you got Robin Yount. Came up as an 18-year-old. Shortstop, outfielder. And you got great lefty, Steve Carlton. Okay. And here's the man I just mentioned a minute ago, Carlton Fisk. Unfortunately depicted here in a Chicago White Sox uniform. He should never have been allowed to go to another organization. The Red Sox didn't mail him a contract. Back in those days, they'd mail him to him, which I don't know why they went that way. So Carlton Fisk, I guess, he wasn't the happiest over the situation. Ended up signing with the Chicago White Sox. Had a good little career with them, too. Took that number 27 he wore in Boston and flipped around and became 72 for the White Sox. So that's Carlton Fisk. Next up, another great catcher, Gary Carter. Picture with the Montreal Expos. I actually have an album full of Expos cards. I have a lot of albums full of cards. Some of them are unique. I have an album with just catchers in that pose where they're squatting down or in action. I have an album full of cards of those. With the Montreal Expos, I've got a goalie album. I've got Bruins, Celtics, Red Sox, and Patriots albums full of guys that are depicted in those uniforms. Just a little side thing that I do. Maybe one day I'll show you that. I got a TTM Through the Mail autograph album that's probably got, 400 or 500 cards in it that I've had signed over the years. So, all right, also from the Phillies, Mike Schmidt. Get something on a piece of plastic. There you go. Sorry about that. All right. Then we got Bruce Sutter. Outstanding closer. Pictured with the Cardinals right there. Came up with the Chicago Cubs. And you got Mr. October, Reggie Jackson. And pictured with the New York Yankees here. All right. Then we got Dave Winfield. Also pictured in a Yankees uniform. Came up with the San Diego Padres. I don't have his... It's funny. I don't have Winfield's rookie card. It's 74 tops. I have so many cards from the 70s, but for some reason I don't have his rookie card. So that's something that when I do get it, I'll put it on a video because I do like him and I'm looking for that card. So, all right, next up from the Houston Astros, Nolan Ryan, Ryan's Express. Another great pitcher from Cincinnati Reds, Tom Seaver. Original New York Met. Came up to the big leagues in '67. Part of the '69 Mets. Just an outstanding pitcher. All right, Mr. Handlebar Mustache himself, Rollie Fingers. Great closer at one time with the Oakland A's. Went to Milwaukee, San Diego. So actually, there was a deal in place. I want to say it was 1977, maybe 76, 77. I don't remember the exact year, so don't hold me to it. But Rollie Fingers and Joe Rudy, Charlie Finley, the A's owner, actually had worked out a deal or cash transaction where those two were heading to the Boston Red Sox. Where they had a day up here where they were shown holding the Red Sox jersey up and everything. Well, Bowie Q and the commissioner put a squash to that, and they were returned to the A's. But it would have sure been nice to see those guys in the Red Sox uniform back then. All right, we got the Wizard, Ozzie Smith. Pictured here with the San Diego Padres. Great defensive shortstop. You guys all know, I'm sure he does his backflips. You guys have all seen, if you haven't seen him in person, you saw him on videos and everything. All right, here's Jack Morris. Great pitcher. Pictured here with the Tigers. Also pitched for the Twins in the '87 World Series. All right, here's Ricky Henderson. All-time stolen base leader. All right. And last but not least, you got George Brett from the Kansas City Royals. All right. There you go. Here's another thing I'll show you at the end. This guy came right out of high school in the 73 season and pitched for the Texas Rangers. David Clyde, he was a high school phenom. They thought he was going to be a superstar pitcher in baseball. I got a couple cards of his. Here's a '74. It's a shame. There's a special, I think it's on Netflix, about him. His career fizzled. I think it was too much. They rushed him along too fast. I think it was more of a public relations thing, being the Texas Rangers, kids from Texas. They weren't drawing huge crowds back then, so David Clyde was rushed along really quick right out of high school. He didn't spend much time in the minors, I can say that much. So here's one more for you. All right. Well, I don't have much else today to show you. A prayer goes out to all those people in Israel. As everybody knows, that whole thing is happening over there. So, those people are my thoughts and prayers that everything works out, things can be resolved without further bloodshed. But then in sports, I told you, a rough weekend for the Patriots. The Bruins, we're off to a 2-0 start. Who knows where the season will lead us this year? A lot of changes there, a lot of new faces. A lot of greats gone now. Patrice Bergeron's gone. David Krejci's gone. Celtics, I'm really excited to see how they do this year with Drew Holiday adding to the mix. I have to personally put them, even if I wasn't a Celtics fan, as one of the favorites. At least win the East, if not win the whole thing. So that's interesting. And then we got the Red Sox. We still don't have a general manager. I guess they're having a hard time getting people in to interview for the position. At one time, it was one of the most prestigious jobs in baseball to be a GM of the Boston Red Sox, president of baseball operations, whatever they want to title it now. Because of the high turnover, since the ownership group the last few years, we've had so many different people in that spot that, guys look at why do I want to leave a nice, comfortable situation I'm in to come here with this uncertainty on how long you'll last. Because baseball, I don't care what anybody says, in Boston, baseball is a big thing. If you look at the crowds in Fenway Park, even when we're not playing well like this, we're in last place again this year, they still draw, outstanding crowds every game. So I got to say, very loyal fans up here. But I hope you guys are all doing well and your teams are playing well and your collections are growing. I'd love to hear some comments from you. I've got a lot of great feedback. I tend to be very humble. I take whatever I get from you guys as a compliment. You have so many channels to choose from, or not channels, so many different variety of things on YouTube in regards to collecting and man caves and everything. So to spend, 15, 20, 25 minutes watching my video, I truly appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So thank you again. And if you're new to my channel, this is my 20th video, celebrating number 20. I started this in January. As I look back, I go back every now and then, I look at some of the early ones. Boy, was I nervous. Now I seem like I ramble on a lot, probably, but I'm just very appreciative of all you guys following me. I have, I don't know, 40, 50 subscribers now, so that's exciting too. As my channel continues to grow, I want to bring things that you're interested in seeing. Maybe you can ask me, if you want to see vintage basketball, I can do some of that, or more hockey or whatever. Just let me know in the comments, or things that I can do better. All right. Okay, keep on collecting. You'll always give you the thumbs up on my saying. And until we see each other again, take care. Have a good rest of your week. Today's Monday, so have a good rest of your week. And God bless. Take care. Bye.